Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. 24/7 researching, it's all a fantasy. But if I make the right plays, it pays automatically. Bankroll showing that I know it dope strategy. On a winning streak, I'm stacking a dose of the bookies, all get mad at me. Confident with how it plays, not clicking on a flex today. 10 times the money, and we all about to get paid. Arrogant shots on the stream, they be killing it. Never gonna stop it, I like if you feeling it. Digging the players, they all never time. You can't make up your mind, then just go with your gut. Fantasizing, Sasha Clown. Gabby Williams said, watch your mouth. They won and they two, I played the over, they come through. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum, pick them both, we stacking them. Going big to the maximum, just push them in, we cashing them. Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing. This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. We about to go big.
This is the game.
We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks.
Hey, what is up, crew? We have an awesome slate today. 3 games, and it was so good we had to have a 3-man crew to attack it. So we got our usual Eric and one of our key crew members, Cade. How we doing today, fellas?
Good, man.
Not bad. Ready to get this 3-gamer.
Yeah, I we've been chopping it up since early this morning, and we just keep finding prop gems that we love, and we're gonna have to really hone in on the key plays because there's a lot to like here. So yeah, let's get through it so we can give ourselves enough time to build cards and put out our rankings and our list for the community. Yeah, so let's just start right away and let's get hunting with this first game. Indiana at Atlanta. These teams have played 3 times already, and both teams are beat up and very thin. Both teams missing key players, especially on the offensive side. Indiana is missing their key piece is going to be Kelsey Mitchell, and we're going to look into some on-off court metrics with her off. They're also without Emily Engsler, who is the direct sub for Queen. So there's some things to like about that we'll touch on. And yeah, so we just start with Indiana. Both these teams, so many favorable. If you look at the team metrics, there's so many favorable spots. Indiana's obviously dead last in defensive rating, and they're also dead last in offensive rating. And Atlanta's right there behind them at 11th in offensive rating. So 2 very bad offenses that love to push the pace. They're 2nd and 3rd in pace. So this is going to be a track meet with 2 inefficient offenses. So you should have a lot of bricks going up, a lot of bricks being built, brick mansions in this matchup. So reboundings are definitely favorable here. And Atlanta's first in turnovers, and Indiana's not too far behind them, and they're 4th. And Indiana, all season long, we've attacked them in the paint. They give up the most points in the paint. So that's something to key on. And both foul at a very high rate, 2nd and 3rd in free throw attempts allowed. So yeah, a lot of favorable spots here. But yeah, starting with Indiana, sorry. If we go to the on-off with Mitchell out and Engsler out, and we look at usage for this season, the list of no surprise is first with 25% usage rate, and then kind of drops off around the 20 range between Victoria, Tiffany Mitchell, and then Destiny Henderson at 17%. Now, if you look at the assist percentage with Kelsey out, let's see, one key thing I wanted to point out here, Destiny has a 30% assist rate. And they didn't really give us many assist props for Indiana, but they did give us Destiny at 3.5. So curious to see what you guys think about that, because I know her PRA is of interest because she can fill the stat line. But yeah, they didn't give us a assist prop for Robinson yet. Maybe they will, but I haven't seen it. They just gave us points, PRA, and fantasy so far. Yeah, so that's something to point out. And yeah, I think I'll hand it off to you guys. I think there's some key pieces here that we all like, especially like I said with Destiny, and then Queen with Inkster out. So, Kate, starting with you, your thoughts on Queen. We're kind of debating between her turnovers and rebounds, so I want to hear what you think is 1A and what's 1B for her.
I don't think it's even 1A, 1B. I think rebounds have to be number one.
Okay.
Rebounds, let me just make sure. Rebounds for Queen, she's pushed her over in 13 of the 15 away games this year. She had 8 at Atlanta earlier this year, and her backup is not playing. So should see more minutes. And I don't see how she's going to get at least 6 rebounds here in this matchup.
Yeah, one of the games, that she started with Inkster on coming off the bench and only playing 8 minutes, Queen had 9. And then when there's a game that Egbo started alongside Emily, and she still had 5 rebounds while Emily had 10. And then the other game, she had 8 rebounds, even with Emily coming off the bench and getting 7 there. Totally with you on that. And like I said, the amount of bricks going up. And the turnover is definitely there too. She cleared this 1.5, and I think all 3 matchups. And if she's going to be playing more minutes, it's just more opportunity to turn it over. She had 5 turnovers in one game.
On the road, she's turned it over the prop 11 of 15 games. So Atlanta forces third most turnovers. So yeah, I agree. Turnovers are great, but I think rebounds might be my favorite play of the entire slate so far.
Okay. Eric, what do you think?
Yeah, I like that call. I mean, Indiana's just going to be so short and thinned out for their squad today. Between Egbo and Smith here, they're going to end up basically playing all 40 minutes combined between the two of them, unless Indiana decides to go small here. But I don't even think that, honestly, on the other side of things, Atlanta has the personnel to go any larger. So they're pretty much just going to roll what they have here. This is going to be a crazy track meet. If teams are going to be efficient, we could have one of the highest scoring games on the slate for us. But we'll see kind of second quarter where we're looking at that later in the aftermath. I like Henderson today, man. I think Destiny, she's just going to end up basically playing about 30 plus minutes here in any game script, whether they're blowing out or being blown out, or if she's actually just playing hot off the bench. Both of these are just kind of working in her favor. So I don't like Tiffany Mitchell. I think she's just such an up-down player for the team.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, same thing with Robinson. I mean, both of those players can be a complete ghost, and the coach will go to the backup or to any kind of other pieces off the bench. You could roll the dice on maybe some of those. Their PRAs just crazy low, but their production has been even lower. That's why the lines keep going down. Yeah, there's some risk here. I don't know if I'd be going so hot and heavy on the full game props for any of the Atlanta side of things here, but Indy, some of these backups, they're just going to have to play. Like, they don't have the bodies.
Okay, well, so let's segue over to Atlanta, because I'm totally with you guys. I think Queen and Destiny will be key pieces today. Just due to how thin they are and what the rotation is going to be like. But yeah, so you mentioned that you're not keen on full game props for Atlanta. I will say that Cheyenne Parker made her the cover girl for this stream, for our team stream here, and a big reason why is I think she's just gonna absolutely feast. Like I said, Indiana gives up the most points in the paint. She was super efficient in all 3 matchups in limited time. She was putting up points, 16 minutes, and she still had 11 points. And this is when Billings was still playing, and Coffee and Billings are out. Durr is out. Am I missing someone else? Oh, and Hayes. So, I mean, so many bodies out, and I mean, she's been playing um, big minutes, and we've been targeting her, and she's been coming through for us with Billings and Coffee being out. I think I know her point prop got bumped to 12 and a half. It's open at 11, but I still like it. I think if we're about the full game run here, like you said, I think the 1.5 free throws are in play, especially if Queen's playing more minutes. She's foul happy and can definitely hack her, and it's only 1.5 free throws for Cheyenne here. She's at least made one free throw in all the matchups. One of them she was 4 or 5, and the other ones, yeah, she was 1-1. So it's a low line, but I think she's got to be a core piece today. And then before I hand it off, are you worried that Atlanta is just going to blow them out since they're 10-point favorites, and Indiana's so beat up and just already at a floor with their offensive rating, and that's why you're concerned about the full game Atlanta props here? Because I think there's some favorable things, like even Naz's rebounds, her fantasy. There's assists in this piece-up matchup, and then even McDonald filling in, possibly starting for Hayes, her PRA.
Yeah, I'll take that real fast. I think there is definitely some risk with if you just go back and look at some of, especially the opponents versus Indiana. A lot of things that we've come to expect and really thrived on have been a huge miss as of lately, like attacking the free throw props or attacking these stock and turnover props. A lot of these teams, they're just blowing them out so bad, and Indiana's waving the white flag honestly so early that a lot of these players, if they're not getting their props in about the 22 to 24 minute range, they're probably going to end up sitting early. And so some of that has me a bit concerned with just some of these lines already being adjusted during the day. We could look back and after the game, I wouldn't be surprised if, say Parker, for example, she has 13 to 14 real points here. But we could also see, some of these rotations end up being fairly flat and end up playing in low to mid 20s in the minutes and just barely hooking us that we're missing out on, maybe just another 3 minutes of play that would have got us there. So I think there's some risk there, but with some of the underdeveloped players that we're seeing, like McDonald, for example, she's known to pick up 30 plus minutes especially if she's starting, but even coming off the bench here, I think this is just going to set up well for us. So I'd be a little bit, cautious about some of the, say, Wheeler or Parker in particular, for example. But I do think that there's enough people missing from Atlanta side of things that they, in a semi-close game, will still end up hitting that production.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the game theory, Cade? Are you worried about full game props here with a 10-point spread?
Okay, well, here's my point of view. Atlanta can only blow them out one of two ways. Parker either goes off in the paint or Ryan Howard just shoots over 50%, which very unlikely.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna have a blow, I think Parker has to get the point prop.
Totally with you.
Or free throws or something. Someone's got to step up and just be super efficient.
Yeah.
So I'm not super worried. And just another point that we can't overlook. Maya Caldwell signed for Atlanta. Whenever she's played for Atlanta, she's started. So starting role is open here with Hayes out. So she might fill in just FYI, because it's kind of been an assumption Ari's going to fill in, but I don't know if that's clear cut. I just think it's a little bit of a concern. If Ari does start, I like the 14.5 PRA. She's been clearing it pretty easily when she gets the minutes.
Yeah, I like her a lot. I mean, and we've seen her when Wheeler was out for extended time earlier in the season, she filled in for her and started. And when Hayes went down that last game, McDonald checked in and played the entire rest of the game. So I assume she starts, but yeah.
I would assume she starts, but I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. Off the bench, she just barely missed her prop or hit her prop in all 3 games against Indiana. So she gets 30 minutes, she should crush that PRA prop, fantasy prop,
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah, I like her and Parker the most probably. And then what do we do with Nas and Ryan Howard? Perfect spot for them with Indiana being so bad in the paint. And I actually looked into it some stats, and Indiana is dead last in defensive rebounding. They allow the highest offensive rebound percentage, and Nas, that's her specialty. She gets so many offensive boards and putbacks. And yeah, Indiana allows the third most second chance putbacks. So I'm on the fence with her. She's burned us in the past. She's real up and down. She can get careless turnovers. We've seen her rack up 4 turnovers in multiple games. So I'm kind of hesitant on the fantasy, but the fantasy potential is definitely there. But the rebound, with, like I said, that offensive rebounding potential, even Ryan Howard can have offensive rebounds too. So what are you guys going to do? Are you going to stay away just because it's hard to choose between the two for the rebound potential and fantasy potential?
Wow, I mean, I think that's a great point about the offensive rebounds because that's what she does. I think she cleared it. Let me just make sure. She cleared her PRA. She had 16 PRA in 18 minutes earlier this year against Indiana. She's going to get about 25, 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she can pretty comfortably clear this PRA. Just needs to get some offensive rebounds and some layups. Not too much of an ask, especially because I think she's kind of blowout proof here. Rookie, she's gonna get. They're going to try and develop her even in a blowout. So I wouldn't worry too much about the blowout with her.
Yeah, and especially with Billings and Coffey being out. Yeah, I think that secures her minutes even more. So yeah, I mean, she's playing a steady 30 plus minutes a game. So
It's all green for her. Indiana, they're against power forward position. They are just terrible defensively.
Yeah, it takes some guts playing her, just because how inconsistent we've seen her. But it's Indiana. I mean, we maybe overthinking it here. Yeah, I think she's definitely being play. I wouldn't play her and Ryan Howard together for their fantasy rebound potential because I think they could eat into each other there, being secondary pieces to Parker. Are you guys staying away from Ryan Howard and her props?
I think so. It's just so juiced.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to – and she's going to be all over on offense. She's going to shoot 20 times, maybe miss 15 times. But Vivian's on the other end is going to have to play some stellar defense if they're going to keep it close. And that's why I'm going to go under on her PRA here. I just don't – she's not been scoring, not been looking to score. Minutes have been decreasing. 16.5 PRA is too high for her because she's not really passing. She's not really rebounding, and she's not really scoring. So I don't see how she's going to get 17 PRA here. Especially if they get blown out, they're going to sit her fast.
Yeah, she's their future. Okay, and then I guess the last piece I want to ask you guys on, and we probably spend the most time on this game because there's so many moving pieces. Erica Wheeler. I know the 4 assists is right there on the cusp for her. That's about what she averages. But I did on and off court here, and if you take out Hayes and Durr, she has a 34% assist rate in a fast-paced matchup. It's a bad defense. Is that 4 assists in play?
It's 4.5 now.
It's 4.5 now. Perfect. Okay.
They must have heard you.
Yeah. So last game when Hayes went down against Dallas, I think Hayes went down in the second quarter. Yep. Erica Wheeler played more minutes and she's definitely going to get more ball handling with Hayes out. You saw early in the season when Hayes was not – because Hayes came around – she missed like the first quarter of the season, and Wheeler was really much more productive early in the season, and then she just dropped off, I feel like, when Hayes returned and came back in full. But now with Hayes gone, I feel like the assist potential is there. It's just you're relying on a bad offense, but you're going against the worst defense, so – is it more mid-tier for you guys?
Yeah, 4.5. I might prefer the fantasy score just because I don't think it's too high. 16. It might have got bumped a little bit, but
wow,
yeah, they
low.
bumped all of her stuff. I'm trying to figure out why all of her lines got moved.
They even took down that stock prop. So Everyone was on that 0.5 stock prop, and now it's been gone.
Yeah.
Because
It juiced
I mean,
everything.
we knew most of this news prior to props going up already, so I'm not sure why she just. I mean, she basically had all of her props just bump except for points and assists and turnover.
Yeah, they probably just realized it was too low and just a line adjustment on that because they went from 16 fantasy all the way up to 17 and a half. So but
Wow,
that's still low. I agree with you on that. Just
it is
with
pretty low
her ball handling and Hayes being out, but I feel like she's another one that's going to go straight to the bench in a blowout.
for sure.
But I think probably McDonald and Nas are probably pretty safe in terms of blowout run. So
Yeah, McDonald. I'm just after hearing that Caldwell news, I'm just a little scared now because
yeah, we got to watch for
that
that.
one game,
Mhm.
man, that was just so scary. She went in there and she just stole everyone's usage, even Ryan Howard's usage.
That's a lot. That's saying a lot for the
Exactly.
biggest ball
I'm
hog.
a little scared. But yeah, I think hopefully she's good for 25 minutes. She gets 25 minutes, she should hit that prop. Both those props.
The 14 and 14 and a half PRI. Yeah.
Just a slight pause though for me.
Okay, yeah, let's watch out for that if we get starting lineup in time while we're making cards. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on for Atlanta, or should we catch up with chat and move on?
No, I think that's about it, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see who we got. Everyday Fantasy, thanks for the content, gents. Simply Stellar. Hey, appreciate you, man. Glad you guys are here and appreciate all the support. And yeah, I hope we keep this hot streak going. Today looks really good. So, Michael, what's up, man? Dylan, let's go. Yeah. Hey, what up, Flo? Sean, ready to run it back tonight. Hey, man. Sean, I'm glad the Sophie Cunningham built a brick house for you and stayed under that 19.5 PR last night. That was crazy. Corey, what's up, man? And Lord De Niro and Jermaine. Good afternoon, fellas. Great day yesterday. Hopefully we can get a repeat. Yeah, I think when we get slates like this where there's a lot of moving pieces and bench players playing that normally don't play these typical starting roles, it's hard for the line makers to adjust. So we can take advantage of that. But there is some volatility with that too. Toa, what's up, fam? Let's get it again. Let's do it. Guida, boy, what's up, man? Coach DFS say, hey, I know that guy, Guida. Dylan, huge blowout potential. Oh yeah, for the Atlanta game. Yeah. But I think, with Hayes being out and Atlanta being so thin, maybe Indiana could stay with it. I mean, give Indiana credit, they just blew out Vegas by 30, right? Or 21. Hey, what up, Io? Hey, what's up, Cowboy? We got to get Kate some cashes so we can buy a camera.
Don't worry, man. We'll get a camera.
All
After we
right.
win tonight.
ECW, Johnny is listening to this podcast. Oh, man. Probably
Oh, Johnny.
Johnny, the line maker for PrizePicks. That's what we call him. Steven.
And where's
Jones,
Bobby?
What's that?
Where's Bobby, man? Bobby has not been up all
Bobby,
day.
Sports Battle?
Yeah.
Is he
Sports
hiding?
He's been sleeping all day.
Yeah, man, he's scared. Steven Jones won me 150 yesterday. Appreciate y'all. Just started tailing out. Let's go. Hey, glad you're part of the team, man. It's all a team effort. We're true teammates here. And who did I miss? Underrated. Are you here, man? Did I miss you? Thought I saw him.
He's lurking.
Yeah, all right. Hey, Melly, said love the content. Hey, appreciate that, Melly. Appreciate that. We got a great crew here. Especially when we got three of us attacking this, makes it even better. Let's go to the next game. This game, I think we can get through pretty quickly. We just saw it yesterday, and it was a bloodbath. And I expect very similar results today. Honestly, I think the spread should be even higher. It's only 6.5 in favor of New York. The Sparks had just looked completely washed and done for. Shanae went down. She's out. So now they're without Liz and Shanae. And yeah, they're down. They're scraping at the bottom of the barrel here. Lexi did make her return yesterday and play about 20 to 24 minutes. I have not seen props for her yet. But yeah, they just they could not stop New York, and especially Sabrina and especially Natasha Howard, who's on a 5-game double streak. So high chance she keeps the streak going with her 6th game in a row with a double. Especially with Shanae out and the Sparks being so thin in the front court. But her lines are juiced big time. So, and you know how I feel about Natasha. Like yesterday, I get on her turnovers and she doesn't turn it over, and then get off her turnovers today and she'll have 5. But yeah, she's just getting it done. I mean, she's getting so many offensive rebound, second chance points, especially in that game last night. And I think she could have her way again against Olivia in the paint, getting those offensive rebound putbacks. You know, I was listening to the game and they were saying like how the New York coach was kind of telling Sabrina, like, you got to chill out on the rebounds. You're exerting too much energy on the glass. And I think that's why we saw that dip. Remember how Sabrina was having like those games of that streak of like 5 games, 6 games in a row. She had like 10 plus rebounds. It seems like the coach told her like, that's not your role. Like, let Natasha do that. And the coach told Natasha that she needs to step up on the glass, and
Makes sense.
she responded. So
for sure. I mean, last time I watched Sparks Liberty, Sabrina was literally, she would see the ball go in the air and she would just run under the ball or run to the ball every time.
Mm-hmm.
Every play. She would get so many scrappy rebounds, and it was so annoying because I had her under PRA that day. It was an awful experience. But I think that might explain Howard just going on the streak.
Yep.
For sure. It makes a lot of sense. And she's been, especially in last game, she just took over scoring. Wasn't even worrying about rebounding, it looked like. Or passing, for that matter of fact.
She's on a
just
mission,
was playing
man.
free, just having fun out there. So
yeah, and everyone else is taking a back seat besides Sabrina and her. I mean, all the secondary pieces are taking a back seat as of late. What are your guys' thoughts? Here we'll start with the Sparks visiting team as usual. Only piece I like here, I think we all are in agreement on, is Olivia. If everything goes right as predicted, and she fills in for Shanae, she should play about 25 to 28 minutes here. And she, I mean, with the 16.5 fantasy point, and you're going to play 26 minutes at the 5 at the center position, I think that's definitely doable. I guess the only concern would be foul trouble, but then, yeah, I'm curious to see who's going to come off the bench for her, and if they would steal minutes away if she did get in foul trouble. But are you guys very confident still on her 16.5 fantasy, or do you like her PRA more? Did they juice her PRA too? Because they juiced her fantasy.
Yeah, about 1.
Okay, so do you guys have a lean? Do you guys want to stick with it? I feel like she can run into some stocks here.
Fantasy for sure.
Okay.
But just so last night, they out of the second half, once Chene was hurt, it was Olivia did not start. She came off the bench, and when Neko went to the bench, that's when Olivia came in. I'm pretty sure you can look at it. But see, Olivia, she was not playing much at all here. Okay, she might have checked in. She played the last 15 minutes of the game now, which is interesting. But she didn't start the second half, which is kind of brings me a tiny bit of pause that she starts. She should start, but that makes me question Lexi, who is their center. Yeah, Lexi, right? But who's gonna back her up? That's my question. They don't have another big, really.
I guess it looks like in the second half, you brought up a great point here. It looks like in the second half, Nika just moved to the 5.
Yeah, she started the 5, and then whenever Olivia came in for a few minutes, I guess she went back to the 4. But that makes me they really don't have another big, so she might not start, but she's going to be the only big on the team. So either way, she's probably going to get huge minutes, but I'm not convinced she's going to start here.
Yeah, what do you think, Eric? Because, I mean, traditionally, when their lineup is normal, she always rotated in for Shanae off the bench and was her direct sub in. So
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how the coach wants to play this one. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she ended up getting the start and plays as kind of like the pseudo 4 and 5, and maybe they just go game flow, let either NECA or Olivia just kind of slide into the 5 as the game goes. It's going to be really tough, honestly, just because they don't really have anybody with any kind of size on the Sparks tonight. I mean, you count like 3 people, and that's going to be essentially about it. So they could go to somewhat of a small ball here, but there's still some question marks with fatigue and injury, like with Lexi coming back. She did play 24 minutes, but can she play an even bigger role tonight? That might be a tough ask on a back-to-back. I think honestly, just starting lineup is going to dictate a lot of this game and what we should be doing. The centers, I mean, they only have like 3 people that could even possibly play that. So just pick 1 or 2 of them and try not to overlap some of your props tonight, and I think you'll be all right.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, NECA. I mean, I think with her being pretty much the only key piece and one carrying the team, I think teams are just like basically focusing in on her and trapping her and shutting her down and watch that game, and it makes it really difficult for her. So are we going to stay away, or do we want to go back to her free throw prop, especially if she's playing the 5 and going against?
You make a good point. Free throw prop. That's probably the only thing I'd take for her, because to score, she's gonna have to drive in the paint, put her head down, hope for a call, go for layups, because she's the only size they have. So probably what she's gonna have to do is get the ball on the perimeter, hope for a little mismatch, back them down. But it's gonna be a really tough ask for her. 3 free throw made. She cleared her free throw made in the first half, I think. And
yeah, she shot 100%, 4-4. So
she's a good free throw, a very good free throw shooter, though. Yeah. But what I've noticed is she doesn't go for rebounds.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if they're in front of her, she'll grab her, but she's not going to chase them down, box people out like them for them. And, she doesn't look fully engaged. Like, she's determined. Like, like for instance, like Skylar. Skylar, when you watch Skylar, she's determined to get a rebound, get an assist, score, or anything. NECA's just there to score. She's not even like, I don't sense it. Like, she's really putting 100% energy into it right now in this kind of game, which I was surprised. I thought she would last game, but she just looked out of it. Shot horrible. I wouldn't trust her to even make many field goals. The only thing I could trust her is to make free throws, but you have to hope she gets to the line. So either fade or free throws for me.
I'm with you on that. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, definitely. Her rebounding rate has taken such a massive hit since Liz left the team. I mean, she's and we thought that was something that she would step into real heavily. And honestly, she burned us 2 nights in a row. And the lack of rebounding now even killed our taco the other night, because she's taken such a huge dip in her rebounding and teams are trapping her. So we've seen that immediate rise in her assist rating now.
And she's got Alicia Gray syndrome, man. It's bad.
Yeah, and Hamby. Yeah, I'm with you guys on that. I just think there's too much pressure on her right now.
Could be a blowout too. So if
you
do want to take her, free throws or first half only. That's all I'd say. And scoring only.
Yeah. I think one honorable mention, and she's another frustrating player. I mean, the Sparks in general are one of the most inconsistent teams, but Sykes. With that said about the rebounding, and especially with Shanae out, Olivia, she has 11% rebound rate, but Sykes, I thought about her 3.5 rebounds yesterday, because just due to the fact that New York takes the most threes, which is going to lead to longer rebounds and for guards like Sykes. And I mean, she has to carry the load on rebounding. Who else is going to do it? I mean, it's not Canada. She has really low rebound percentage, and Katie's not a great rebounder. And if NECA's not getting it done and Shanae's out, I mean, Sykes, she's still at 3.5 rebounds. How many rebounds has she finished with in that game? 6, I think. Yeah, she had 6. I mean, there's going to be a lot of threes going up again for New York. So
Yeah, I
And
like that.
I mean, the process is right on it, but the process can never
For
be
sure.
trusted with Sykes. I'll
Yeah.
put that disclaimer
Yeah,
out.
with Sykes. Yeah, she tends to get sick with Alicia Gray syndrome sometimes.
Yeah.
But I do like that 3.5 rebounds. My only concern is on a back-to-back, how much will Liberty be shooting threes? Some tired legs. That's my only concern for long rebounds. But it's no one can rebound on that team.
No. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Someone's
really
got to do it.
up in the air.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can move on to New York, unless you guys have anything else. Probably staying away from Katie in Canada, I assume. But just so many options on the slate. Okay. So we already kind of went over Sabrina and Natasha. Especially we're covering Natasha already with her rebounding and scoring her double potential. Sabrina looks like she kind of got back to form last night. And we've seen her in the season when she gets on a heater, she keeps it going. And New York is in desperation mode. They're still fighting for that playoff spot. So it's another big game for them. Even though they're big favorites, they got to close the deal. Can we get back on Sabrina? And if so, what prop is your guys' favorite? Eric, we can start with you, man.
Yeah, I'm fairly split between honestly her PRA or her threes made, but I think I got to go back to the threes made tonight. Just it feels like a good safe push on the absolute kind of a worst night, but she was on it last night. Really felt that bounce back game coming, and even if she just has a mediocre performance, I could see another 8 to 10 attempts and at least landing us 3 tonight.
For sure. I mean, I think I remember at the beginning of the game, she shot like 1 for 4. So she was just on fire. And she's one of those players, I think, that goes on confidence so much.
Mm-hmm.
When she's not confident, you can tell she's not shooting. She can only assist and rebound when she's not confident. 31 points in 24 minutes. She's got the confidence coming up here. And she only played 24 minutes. So she's not going to be too tired compared to, some of like NECA played about 27, 30 minutes. So I think she's going to be relatively fresh here. First half props, yeah. I mean, she had about 30 PRA in the first half.
Yeah,
So
what's funny is
go with that.
Prior to all these games, her first half was always significantly reduced relative to her full game because she was not getting it done in the first half as of late. But yeah, that game was obviously
at home. She's just she has all the confidence in the world at home, especially coming off a performance like this. I don't see how she's not going to get 30 PRA. I'm shocked it didn't move that line up a few. Or if threes are at 2, I think she's once again going to take near 10 attempts. She should be able to hit at least 2.
Yeah, she should. With this matchup and how bad the Sparks are against the threes, like we talked about yesterday, giving up the second most threes, it was just a smash play yesterday. Okay, so yeah, I think her scoring potential too. I think she'll have an easy time driving in the paint and getting layups against Olivia. If Olivia's getting more run, she should blow by Katie in Canada. I think Olivia has 105 defensive rating. She's not a good defender.
Canada,
85 offensive
Katie
rating.
Lou.
And Katie's 107. And Canada's right behind her 106. I mean, just really bad.
NECA has a really, really bad defensive rating.
Yeah. I think it just goes like what you said. She's just looking to score this season. She doesn't.
Yeah, she doesn't have that killer in her right now.
Yeah.
Maybe in a different kind of game, but man, I think Liz leaving took so much out of that team.
Yeah, it killed it. Okay, and then to cap it off for New York, we touch on Natasha. Do you want to ride this double train, or is it time to get off due to blowout risk and just regression? It's setting up real nice for her again. Or we could go for lower lines with the 2.5 free throws made, since I'm sure Olivia and others are gonna hack her, whoever comes off the bench too, and just due to size mismatch, or due to with that said, with the size mismatch, do we just go back to her PR?
Man, I'm worried about blowout, as you said. The line, I think, should be closer to 16.5 and 6.5. I mean, the Sparks they can't score, they can't defend, they can't rebound. What are they going to do? How are they going to compete? Howard, I think her first half props look pretty good here.
Why did they have her PR?
14.
Oh, I was looking at Ryan. Yeah. Okay, so
It's pretty juiced, but she's been getting that. And
yeah,
I'm telling you, there's no big to guard. I mean, she's either
no,
going
that's
to
a great
have
point.
neck on her or Olivia. So
Yeah, she's gonna come out
size
super
mismatch,
aggressive
skill
again.
mismatch.
Yeah. You know how first halves are, man, so volatile, but this one makes total sense.
For sure. I mean, the Liberty only played their starters through like the first 6 or 7 minutes, I think, of that third quarter. You know, they barely played. They both got both Sabrina and Natasha, they got like 25 minutes. You know, if they play the full game, if it's a close game, Howard should crush the prop.
Yeah.
All those full game props, but that's just my concern.
I will say though, just to kind of give a little nudge to Olivia, she's no slouch, man. She's a big girl. She's 6'5", almost 175. So she's got about 2 inches and 20 pounds on Howard here. She's a pretty physical player. So I think honestly, she's going to be one of the key to even kind of keeping this close. And she doesn't hack too much. So if she's not picking up offensive fouls, she could actually have a pretty fair night for her in line.
Yeah, I think it all depends on the starting lineup. Because I mean, if let's say she's not starting and have Nick at the 5 again, I think that lines up even better for Natasha's first half props, right?
Yeah,
For sure.
and honestly, I think that just the way we've seen NECA play, she doesn't want to be the center. She doesn't want to be down low on the inside like there. So I'm almost 100% sure, even if Olivia doesn't start tonight, she's going to end up as the 5 and play some fairly deep minutes there.
I would hope so. I mean, because that I really want to smash her fantasy point because of the minutes and the potential there and how low it is.
That's a good point. That's a really good point, I think. I think she cleared her first half fantasy, even though she only played like 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes maybe. So if she does start, first half props are low. Definitely.
For Olivia?
I like that.
For Olivia, yep. And she played the entire fourth quarter, and she basically cleared her entire fantasy score for this game in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, because I mean, she was going against scrubs.
And she should play in the blowout. So
yeah, that makes me. If we do think it's going to blow out, which it has really high chance to, that makes me like her full game probably more so because I want that garbage time run.
Yeah, but the first half's a little discounted for that reason, probably.
Yeah, we'll see what the starting lineup is, and then I think you can make a decision on our first half. Anything else for New York?
Nah, honestly, I mean, we covered this at pretty good length yesterday. If you want to take a shot on Dolson or Hans PRA, it's still reasonably low, but there's some danger with how explosive and much usage Howard's had on the inside lately.
Yeah, I guess if you want to play blowout narrative, Shagzu did close and play that garbage run in the fourth, so there's that. Okay, we can move to the late night hammer. It starts much later, 10 p.m. Eastern. It's a 161.5 in total. It's Minnesota at Seattle. In Seattle, they are 6.5 point favorites. I think Minnesota's still fighting for a playoff shot. I'm not entirely sure of the seeding.
They're half a game out.
Half game out. Okay, so this is big for them. Big,
huge.
And we all know this is Sylvia's last season. This is it. So
they're honoring her today.
Yeah, it's a good spot for her. I think the one way you attack Seattle is in the inside. We've seen it. Bigs have success against them because Seattle on the perimeter is elite, which is why like their top 2 defensive rating overall, and a lot of that's just due to perimeter defense. But they are really bad at rebounding. They have they're second to last in rebound percentage overall. So yeah, I think if you want to attack Seattle, it makes sense to go with inside the paint with rebounds and points in the paint. The one that stood out to me is Powers 3.5 rebound prop. I know she hasn't been getting it done lately, but this is a perfect spot for her to rack up boards with Seattle taking the third most threes. They were up in the top three. I think they dropped to fourth. They're
Tina.
fourth now. But they'll chuck threes. And just how bad rebounding overall Seattle is. So I think Bets 365 has Powers at 4.5 rebounds, getting a massive discount there in terms of rebound. I probably like that the most for Minnesota, but I definitely get it if you want to ride Sylvia in this must-win game. And like I said, attacking Seattle in the paint. So what are your guys' thoughts on them and any other props for Minnesota that you like?
Oh man, looks ugly here on this side. But yeah, Powers. I think rebound prop. I had that written down. I'm a little nervous because not the best history. On the road, she's a little less rebound happy. But it's a good matchup here. And someone's got to rebound the ball. I think Tina there has actually improved their rebounding quite a bit in the last few games. So the rebounding has been better than it looks on the stat sheet a little bit, but they're still pretty weak on the interior with rebounds. 3.5 is just disrespectful though for Powers, just disrespectful. She can easily clear that, and even like a half, she can clear that. But
Yeah.
I'm just a little nervous here, just because Sylvia can totally dominate the glass. Shepherd can dominate the glass.
Yep. Yeah, it's just more along the lines of thinking that there's going to be a lot of long rebounds that go over Shep and
For sure.
Sylvia. And just thinking that Shep and Sylvia are going to have their hands full with Brianna Stewart and Tina boxing out. So
definitely.
I mean,
was thinking
Powers almost averaged
Yeah.
5 rebounds on the season. So
Yeah, well, I was thinking Stewart and Charles, they can shoot, so they might pull Shepard and Fouls away from the hoop a little bit, open it up for Powers. So that's another point.
Yeah, and speaking of Shep, I know she's been a favorite of ours to go under on, but I'm not messing with her
For
on
sure,
this.
definitely.
Because, like I said, the best way to attack Seattle is through in the paint, and they definitely give up backdoor cuts and cutting to the basket in the
Offensive
backdoor
boards,
open
probably.
lanes. And Shep, that's the only way she's going to score. And she's had really good success against Seattle this season, where she have like
Great
over
history.
10 points, real points in both games.
Yeah.
I'm staying away
If you
from her.
like Shepard, that's a pretty decent over. But we know how Shepard is, so
Yeah, she
for
had
us, he'll
9.
probably fade. But yeah, if you like Shepard, this would be the game to take her.
Yeah, she had 9 and then 12 points off the bench in 23 minutes. The most recent
Wow.
matchup.
Jeez.
Yeah. The most recent matchup, Dantas played, so gotta take this with a grain of salt. But yeah, Powers had 5 rebounds. And yeah, that's right. Sylvia did not play in this one. So it was Milik. Do you think Milik gets more run here because teams like to go big against Seattle?
She could, no doubt. I mean, they might need to stretch the floor a little more here to try and run Tina and Stewart a little more, and they can get Ezzy on the court to play some defense, which would hurt their offense in turn. So, yeah, I think she could get a few extra minutes. And, we've been attacking bigs, getting big minutes against Seattle. So I think, we're not going to get props for Milic, so it doesn't really matter. But I think she could definitely play near season high minutes off the bench.
Yeah. Okay, and then I think for Powers, if you want to go with the rebound, I think your 2.5 turnovers are in play. Seattle, they are third in opponent turnover percentage, so they're causing.
Yeah, she cleared
third
it
most
both
turnovers.
games.
What about you, Eric? What are your thoughts on Powers and Sylvia or any other Minnesota props?
Yeah, so they did bump Sylvia up to 14.5 real points, and I do still like that. I'll say, not only the points in the paint allowed, but for the last 3 seasons versus Seattle, she's actually cleared that, and ended up with 15 plus real points in every meeting. So, that's going to go right in line with our model and what we've been attacking Seattle with so far. So I do like that, and there's a ton of playoff implications here. So if they're going to keep it close, she's almost assuredly going to be a huge reason for that. I'm not really sure what to make of the whole secondary Shepard, Milik, Dantas wheelhouse of whatever's going on there. Honestly, we could see them roll with Dantas here off of the as a starter unit, or off of as a starter, basically just to stay on Tina as much as possible, and maybe just leave between whoever is going to be attacking on the inside for Seattle. They'll just leave that as a one-on-one for fouls here. There's a couple different ways that both sides can play this, but we know that Seattle's going to chuck it from 3 a ton, and Minnesota's one of the league's worst in defending the long ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with that being said, I still like Mariah. She's one of my, I think that PRA is just a little bit too low for her. She's actually cleared that I had it written down somewhere. I was trying to find it. Pretty hefty amount of her road splits for the season so far. And I think it's pretty safe to say that she's back to fairly close to 100% here. So that being said, I think those two pretty good options for us tonight. I do like the rebound call for Powers. Her history just scares me a little bit with her home road splits, but for her size and how susceptible Seattle is on the inside, I do like that call.
Definitely. You made a good point about just as a segue for Seattle. You made a good point. Minnesota's not very good defending 3. They allow a ton of attempts. Yeah, so when I saw Lloyd at 2 threes, I cried a little bit. I wanted that 1.5 badly. So now I got to stay away from that. But it's going to be very interesting to see if they can keep it close, because this is a huge game for them. They can move up to, I think, the final playoff spot if they win this game. So they really want to win this game. And so we'll see how Seattle's going to do here.
Yeah, it's okay. Speaking of Seattle, it's a good segue. Kate, I'll let you start off because I know you're the Sue Bird whisperer.
Sue Bird whisperer.
So you called her clearing her 3-point prop or was it 3-point or point prop in the first quarter, and she did that one game.
Yeah, that was versus Connecticut.
Take it away.
Big one here. Sue. Big one here for Sue. I mean, I think she might play a little bit to the narrative. Fouls last game for Seattle. So she'll try and match that, show her up a little bit. And she's got amazing history versus Minnesota. Amazing. She's got 32 fantasy scored earlier this year against them. She didn't play in the most recent matchup, but the first one she did, she got 11 points, 9 assists, a couple of steals. She had 32 fantasy score, and her fantasy score is at 17.5. It's pretty low, I think. At home, she's been clearing it pretty regularly. And she most recently at home, she got hooked by 0.1, so kind of hurts the hit rate a little bit. But 17.5 is low for her because she can rack up the assists, even a couple threes and a few steals. So I would definitely consider her. Especially when you said that they give up a lot of threes. She can definitely hit 2 or 3 if she just gets a nice look. So.
Yeah, I think teams just attack Minnesota by the 3 ball on the perimeter due to the interior presence of Sylvia and Shep in there with their defense. So it makes sense. Yeah, they're second in opponent 3-point attempts, so and third in made. Yeah, I get that. And then how do we feel about Brianna Stewart? Any of her props we like? I know we touched on her rebounds. We always like her free throw prop when it's less than 4. It's at 3.5 today, although Minnesota, they're about average on free throw attempts. They're middle of the road opponent free throw attempts. But yeah, she on the season, Brianna is averaging 5 free throws made. Now, some of this can be inflated pre-Tina Charles arrival. So that's always a concern and something you got to keep in the back of your mind because Tina is a usage hog and soaks up so much usage and can hurt Brianna Stewart being aggressive and attacking the basket. But it's pretty low. I feel like that would be like a more late night card if you're just building one card. And then her 7 rebounds being at home, we noticed that she tends to do better on the glass, and she's going to be needed here against Minnesota and the bigs they have. Minnesota's second in rebound percentage, so someone's going to have to pick up the rebounding, and it's probably going to be her and Tina. Eric, what is your thoughts on Brianna Stewart? Do you like any of her props? And then how about Jewel?
Yeah, there's a couple of props I think that we can work with for Stewart. I like the rebound call, and her points at home, I think, are right there on the line for being at 20.5. But her 3 points made at 1.5, I actually don't mind that. She's put up at least 1 3-point made in every meeting versus Minnesota, and she cleared it in one of the 2 meetings earlier on in the season.
They must have just added that. I didn't have that on there. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of risk there with Tina chucking it from 3 so much and basically just leaving Stewart or Ezzy on the inside. But I mean, Stewart can easily roll up and just hit 2 quick threes there. I love the Sue Bird call though. Honestly, I think either points or her points plus assists at 11.5 or 12. It's super low for her.
Yep.
Just
for Stewart. I know we were talking about the free throws. I think she had 2 in the first meeting. That's when Sylvia played. Sylvia did not play the second meeting, and she got like 10. So that's a little concern. Just it looks really good, but it might be a little bit of fool's gold there, depending. But she can always get 4. She's good for 4, but it's not maybe a smash play like some people might think.
Yeah, you also have to hope it stays competitive, so she stays aggressive.
Definitely.
Okay, so I think so. The rankings would be for Seattle, Sue priority 1 for you guys, and then Brianna Stewart, her 3-point prop or rebound, and then where does Jewel fall into this? Is she just a fade due to the presence of Tina?
I like the under on the turnovers.
Yeah, just the line of thinking with Minnesota.
Lynx don't force them. So
yeah, they're dead last in opponent turnover percentage.
Yeah, if it's a blowout, she's gonna get less chances to turn it over. I don't see 3 turnovers from her today. She could get 2 and push, but I don't see 3.
Yeah. Any other props for Seattle? What about Gabby? She's always live for her stocks. Minnesota is 3rd in turnover percentage, so they're turning it over at the 3rd highest rate. But her minutes are volatile.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's a couple of fringe options. We just have so much to work with tonight. You're putting around in those props, you're probably just. I would say if you're digging for props, you're really playing this as a standalone game.
Yeah, late night card. Yeah. Okay. You guys want to do the team card, and then we'll get out of here and give ourselves an hour. Let's keep the streak going. Yesterday, the team card hit, and I think all the combinations we did. So, Cade, since you're the special guest, you want to start us off?
Yep. So if you want to think back, I think it was 2 times ago I was on here. It was a certain someone's birthday. Took her rebounds, and it hit. We're going to take them again. Queen rebounds at 6. I don't see how she doesn't get 6 rebounds here in this matchup.
Yeah.
Track meet.
Yeah.
Backup's not playing. 6 is way too low.
With you. Eric?
I got to go with the gut call. I'm going to go with Olivia's PRA. I like that 12.5.
So her fantasy got juiced by 1, but not her PRA, right?
I believe they bumped everything.
Oh, she was at 11.5 originally?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the cover girl. Our cover girls have been undefeated as far back as I can remember. And yeah, if you haven't check out her calendar photos, she's interesting, man. Love Cheyenne. We've been writing her out this latter portion of the season. Perfect time to do it one last time. Can't ask for a better matchup. All right, Cade, you going with your girl Sue?
Let's see. I think I want Sabrina's 3-pointers.
Nice.
All right, Eric, can you finish us off here?
Yeah, we're going up to a 5.
Yeah. People can play. If people are tailing, they can just go. They can play the 4 too if they want. But yeah, we can do a 5 since there's 3 of us.
Let's go with fouls, real points. Get some exposure to that last game.
There you go. All right, guys. Yeah, we should get the card construction and making our rankings, which we'll all share in our social media and on our Discord. So yeah, the Discord link is below, and also yeah, follow Cade on Twitter. He's at CadeBets, BETS, and Eric is He Made It Happen. And Eric, if you haven't already, check out his YouTube channel. The link is below too in the description. And yeah, Eric, you want to touch on that? I think you dropped a video today too with your favorite targets.
Yeah, I did a video just doing a quick breakdown of our games, and you can find me at Eric's Prop Stop over on YouTube, which hopefully we'll be streaming from soon. Get that set up with you.
Yeah, we got to set that up for sure before the season ends, so we can just streamline it into the other sports. Sorry, chat, we couldn't be as interactive as usual. Trying to get these done, and I don't want to skim on the rankings. I want to spend some more time touching it up and finalizing it. Does anyone have a blurry screen? Check the resolution on the YouTube. Maybe it's set to 420 or some really low resolution. Lorenzo, what's up, man? Sylvia should crush today. This might be your last against Sue, right? Yep. You got two players, old-time vets going at it. All right, guys. I appreciate it, Flo. I appreciate it. Yeah, all of you guys, good luck. Feeling really good about this. Let's continue the hot streak. And we'll be back tomorrow, 2-game slate. So hopefully we can try to get this stream out earlier, around 4 p.m. Eastern. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, you guys got any last things?
It's good luck tonight. Let's get it.
All right, guys. Peace.
Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. 24/7 researching, it's all a fantasy. But if I make the right plays, it pays automatically. Bankroll showing that I know it dope strategy. On a winning streak, I'm stacking a dose of the bookies, all get mad at me. Confident with power plays, not clicking on a flex today. 10 times the money, and we all about to get paid. Eric and Josh on the stream, they be killing it. Never gonna stop it, they like if you feeling it. Digging the players, they all never time. You can't make up your mind and just go with your gut. Fantasizing Sasha Clown. Gabby Williams said, watch your mouth. They 1 and they 2, I played it over, they come through. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum, pick them both, we stacking them. Going big to the maximum, just push them in, we cashing them. Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing. This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. We about to go big.
This is the game.
We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population.